This week Parashat Tazria, talks about Adam, man. The Torah starts talking about the Tumah v'Tahara of Adam. Now, what's the highlight of Adam? How does Torah describe Adam and his Tumah v'Tahara? Adam ke bebesaro sedu sapacha. Torah talks about Sara'at. What is Sara'at? What is it? Some Mefarshim say that Sara'at, the people think is leprosy. It's a type of disease. But in truth, most Mefarshim say that it's not a physical disease. It's a spiritual disease that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends to Adam. So interesting. In Torah, we don't have such a thing that if a person does Avodah Zarah, one of the greatest sin in Torah is idol worshipping. If he worships an idol, there is no promise in Torah that something would happen to him. If somebody kills somebody else, there is no promise. Or if somebody does Chilul Shabbat. But here we find something very special. A very special punishment comes for a special Avirah, sin. What is this Avirah? What is this sin? This sin is called Lashon Hara, talking bad against somebody else, another person. Torah is telling us the highlight of power of a person's speech. Once you talk against somebody else, comes this Sara'at. Sara'at is a spiritual disease. Comes to a person to give him a message. The message is like Onkelos says. What does Onkelos says? Levychaim segur. In other words, Onkelos translates Sara'at segiru. And the Parashim say, what does segiru mean? Segiru comes from sagur, close. You have to understand, talking Lashon Hara against somebody else, a person, chas v'shalom, all of the gates of Shamayim will be closed on him. So HaKadosh says, this is the punishment for Sara'at, for Lashon Hara. Now why? Why Lashon Hara from the other Averot has the greatest punishment? Such a great punishment. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu went out of his way to manipulate the creation that usually Hashem doesn't like to make miracles. Here is almost a miracle. Like Mefarshim say, the Hal Israel, they live in such a high dargah, such a level, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does a miracle for them. When they talk Lashon Hara, they gossip against somebody else, Hashem makes a miracle, spiritual disease, that's called Sara'at, comes on their body. Now why? What is it that it's such a chamur decay, such a strong punishment comes to a person? Now the Farshim say, very interesting point. Now what do we do with Sara'at? Somebody who gets leprosy, this Sara'at, we put him out of the camp. Why do we put him out of camp? And we tell him, stay there. Rashi explains unbelievable point. Rashi says, when you are with the community, when you are with people, you disturb them, you destroy them. You talk against somebody in the community and you destroy that person. The girl came to me and was crying and crying. She says, Rabbi, people talk against me. Now they ruin my life. They ruin my reputation. Why? Because I was trying to help somebody else. I was trying to do something, and they didn't like, and they went against me. I told her, don't cry. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows who is right, who is wrong. People just talk, and talk is very cheap. You could just talk. But the person doesn't understand with talking, he could destroy somebody. Like Nabi says, Chetz shachut leshonam. Their tongue is like an arrow. You give an arrow to somebody, weapon, he knows. If he shoots to somebody, he kills. But he doesn't realize his word could kill somebody, could destroy family, could destroy friendship. There are friends that they hate each other for 10, 15 years because of Lashon Hara was said 15 years ago. There are divorces that happens through Lashon Hara, through talking against somebody for nothing. Therefore, Torah says, for such a great Avera sin, HaKadosh Baruch Hu went out of his way to point out to us how serious this sin is. And like Uncle says, Segiruta. In other words, all of the gates will be closed. Now, on a positive note, the Gaon Mivilna says, when a person is tempted to say Lashon Hara, to say something bad against somebody else, the person has a choice. Listen to the choice. To close all of the gates of Rahamim to himself, or to open up all of the gates of Rahamim and Shefa and Bracha to himself. It is in our hand. At the time of temptation, yes, there is a great temptation sometimes. You have to say it. You have to make the point. It's boiling in you. You have to say the words. You have to, disgrace the person. But it's in one's hand to have all of the gates closed on him, or to have all of the blessing of life